So I'm sure you're familiar with the expression, imagine your audience naked. Yeah? It's supposed to help you manage your nerves. And, the nerves that come up when you're performing in any way, whether you're speaking or whatever. And of course, the fewer nerves you have, the greater that magnetic presence. I call it your charismatic presence, that innate presence. And the greater that charismatic presence, the more effective you are as a speaker. So, imagine your audience naked. Does it help? Is it useful? Well, let me tell you about a time when I didn't have to imagine my audience was naked, because they were. So this is back in my singer and songwriter days, when I was touring the country, playing in all kinds of venues. And I'm at home one day and I get a phone call, and it's my friend Bear, spelled B-E-A-R, not B-A-R-E. Very important to know. And he says, hey, Eleni, I'm booking this festival in West Virginia. It's a really cool festival, and I think that you would be the perfect fit. I'm like, really? Well, tell me about it, Bear. He says, yes, it's at a nudist colony, and it's clothing optional. I'm like, well, okay, so question. Do I have to be naked? No, you can just kind of wear what you want. I said, oh my God, Bear, I am so in, because I know someday I will tell this story. So he books me for this thing. And sure enough, the months go by. It's now the dead of summer. And I'm in my tour-mobile. I call it Big Red. It's this big cranberry-colored Oldsmobile I inherited from my mother. And I'm driving it up this dirt road in the wild, forested region of West Virginia. I go around a curve, and there's a sign for the festival and a little guardhouse. And this gentleman leaps out of the guardhouse wearing sunglasses, sneakers, and a smile. And he walks over to my car and stands right next to the window. Now, I just want you to think about this for a minute. Where do you think the average groin appears in relationship to your car window? Yes, right there. And I'm like, whoa, baby! And I'm staring at what, in my frazzled moment, feels like a little Picasso painting, And it's replaced all of a sudden with his smiling face, and he says, I know you. And I'm thinking, I don't know you. And he says, listen, take your car, point it up there, take a right, there's a big parking lot, just get in there. And once you've parked, take all your gear, walk straight ahead, and you're going to see a very tall man wearing a very large cowboy hat. His name is Pete, and he's going to help you know what to do next. I said, great, terrific. I point my car right where he tells me to go, park it in the lot. I sling my guitar over my shoulder, grab my bag of gear, and I start to walk. And sure enough, there's a very tall man wearing a very large cowboy hat and holding a clipboard. And that's it. And he starts to run at me with his arms outstretched. I'm like, oh my God, he's coming in. He's coming in for the folky hug. I'm like, geez, no, oh, I'm smiling, but I'm thinking, oh, that's going right up and down. And I turn, and we hug, and I go like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, awkward. He's like, I'm Pete, you're Eleni, checking you off. Here's what you do. You go over there. There's a quiet little area. You can just sit. You can tune your guitar. Just orient yourself. I'll come collect you in 30 minutes. I'm thinking, I'm going to need that 30 minutes. So I make my way over there. I'm by myself, you know, I'm in this little backstage area, cool beans, and I tune. I think, Eleni, get your head together. You're a pro here. Come on. 30 minutes goes by in a flash. Pete's back. He says, I'm going to intro you. Follow me. I step onto the stage with him, and I'm sure he must have introduced me, but you know, frankly, I don't remember any of that, because what I remember was a sea of undulating flesh. I mean, flesh, 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 holy patootie, literally. Wow. So I walk up to the microphone, sort of half looking, and I launch into song number one. Yeah, woo, and it's an up-tempo song. Yeah, and you know, people are sitting there on these lawn chairs, you know, the kind that like leave stripes on your body. Yeah, and they're sitting there and they're starting to rock in time to the music. And everything is going boing, get a boing, get a boing, get a boing, get a boing. Oh my God, so distracting, like unbelievably distracting. So instead of looking out there, I look at my hands. You know what I mean? And out of the corner of my eye, every so often, someone stands up. Whoa! Okay, I'm focusing on my hands, and I finish this song, and there's a whole bunch of applause, you know, very enthusiastic, and I just kind of help myself kind of turn around and really look at this audience, right? I mean, come on, Eleni, look at these people. And as I do, this mass of flesh starts to separate into individuals, you know? And I think, okay, they're just people. You're used to performing in front of people, individuals just like them. They're here for a good time. They're here for good music. They're just people like that lovely young woman. She's got dreads down to here. She's tattooed all over her body. That's just awesome. Or this elder man right here, very, very thin, long white ponytail and a bandana wrapped around his head. And he's all wrinkled all over. He's like a Shar-Pei. It's just fantastic, you know? And then right in front of me, in the second row, is a woman. She's got a smile from ear to ear. And she has a scar where her left breast should be. And I see her, and I think, wow, how beautiful, how brave. And I smile right back. And we have a moment. And from that moment, I start my next song. And it just goes like gangbusters after that. It just feels right, like it always does, when I'm as one with my audience. And when I'm finished, I take a bow and they applaud. And you know, they're very appreciative, but I am infinitely more appreciative because they have reminded me that my job as a performer and as a speaker is to connect with my audience, one human at a time, whether they are clothed or unclothed. And I didn't do a very good job of that when I first stepped onto that stage. I was so focused on the sea of nakedness that it pulled me out of the moment into my head, and I put distance between myself and my audience instead of engaging with what was right in front of me. That's what happens when you imagine your audience naked, or you look over their heads. Another really stupid piece of speaking advice, by the way. You basically disconnect from your audience. You move away from them, not toward them. You don't build a bond with them. You build a boundary. And when you do that, your charismatic presence lessens, and you're not as effective as a speaker. So you may be wondering, well, okay, well, what do you do? What do you do? How do you help yourself connect to an audience that might be a little scary or a little off-putting for you in some way, shape, or form? Well, what do you do? Well, as I always say, presence equals being present. You got to be present to have charismatic presence. So first things first, you got to ground yourself. You got to bring your body to the earth, feel Mother Nature supporting you. And then you've got to think. Connect first, speak second. Connect first, speak second. Now, what does that mean exactly? It means daring to be in silence for a moment that really matters because it establishes the energy, yours and theirs. It allows you to collect yourself and collect all that beautiful, yummy energy from the audience. Like this. Now, if the idea of being silent makes you sphincter up, I understand silence is scary, but what I want to say to you is this. You can help yourself there by just having a moment where you're thinking a phrase that might be useful to you while you're connecting with your audience. And the phrase might simply be, I'm so glad to be here with you. I've worked really hard on this presentation, and I hope that you find it really valuable. What would that take, like 3 seconds? A nice pregnant 3 seconds where you're doing something you can control and just letting yourself be. And then finally, connect with a smiler. There's always some nice person smiling up at you. Connect with them, like you. Yeah. Take that energy, connect with them, and start with them. Share a few sentences with them. I mean, really share it, and then find another person and share with them, and so on and so forth. That's how you bring yourself into the moment where you can fulfill what you're there to do as a speaker. Think about that for a minute. How willing are you to be utterly, totally cognizant and present of and with your audience? Really there with them, seeing them as the human beings that they are, as the individuals that they are. It makes such a huge difference. So, as you can imagine, when I'm asked, should I imagine my audience naked, what do I say? No, nope. Why waste your time avoiding exactly what's in front of you while you're imagining something else? It's useless. Instead, ask yourself to do what you're there to do, always as a speaker. Connect with that audience, one human at a time, so you can use your words to change your world. Thank you.